Some of you are familiar with Excel, some of you are so familiar. I'm just going to go over very basic stuff in Excel. We have columns and then we have rows, right? So each one of the cells is an intersection of a column and a row. So we refer to those cells by saying the the column letter and the row number. So this first cell over here is cell A1. So you can see in the top left corner of Excel, it says A1. Well, I should probably have started by telling you how to get started with Excel, right? So, okay, sorry about that. We have Excel in, well, gotta get used to this computer now. It used to be down here in the programs, and then, you know, just go and in the start window, look for Microsoft Excel. You click into that link and Excel comes up, right? So you have Microsoft Excel in your computer. Everybody should be able to get Microsoft Excel. Even if you're not registered in the course, you should be able to get Microsoft Excel running in your computer right now. Okay, great. So you see you have A1 is the first cell. That's where Excel starts at. Then we have a bar over there that gives you the formula. And then we have some buttons for formatting and setting up the letter types and so on and so forth. So that's what Excel looks like. So each one of those cells can contain a number, a text, or a formula, right? So if I ask you to calculate the volume of a box that has the following dimensions, 2 by 3 by 4, you should be able to enter the information in Excel in such way that you have text in some cells, right? You can type in length, width, and height in these 3 cells, and then you enter 2, 3, and 4, which are numbers in these 3 cells indicating the length, width, and height. And then you can have another one here that says volume and a formula that will multiply 2 times 3 times 4, and that will give you the volume of a box that has 2 units times 3 units times 4 units, right? So that's kind of a very basic. So that will have an Excel file with text, numbers, and formulas included in one sheet. So if we look at the, if we go to that volume cell, right, and then we click F2, the key F2, you should be able to see the formula right there in the cell, and it's going to highlight the cells that are inside that formula. So you will see that formula is equal to B1 multiplication sign B2 multiplication sign B3. This asterisk, it's a multiplication sign. So then you have B2 times B3 times B4. Okay? Very basic. I guess you guys know how to do it. Now, where it gets tricky here is the meaning of this formula. Excel, when you tell B1 times B2 times B3, what Excel is really thinking is 2 columns to the left, that's B. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows up, that's 1 from this cell over here. Okay? B2 is going to be 1, 2 columns to the left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 rows up. And B3 is going to be 2 columns to the left, and then 1, 2, 3 rows up. Okay? That's the way Excel thinks. So if you copy this cell, this formula, and paste it somewhere else in Excel, what you're going to have is that the formula is going to be looking at 2 columns to the left, 5 rows up. 2 columns to the left, 4 rows up. 2 columns to the left, 3 rows up. So it's going to be looking at these cells over here rather than the ones that you have over there. So that's something that you need to be careful about when you copy and paste a formula in Excel. If you add a dollar sign in front of the B, that's going to lock the formula for the column B, okay? So if you have dollar B1, it's going to say, okay, this means column B. It means column B. Now, because the row doesn't have a dollar sign, it still means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows above. So if you copy that cell and paste it somewhere else in Excel, now the dollar sign, now the formula goes to $B4. Because it's going to say, okay, it's column B, you told me that, but it's again 5 rows up, okay? So if we do the same trick and we put the dollar sign on the row, like in this case, B and then dollar sign 2, it means you're going to lock your row in row 2. But the column is still 2 columns to the left. So when you copy and paste that cell, it's going to reference 2 columns to the left, but it's going to maintain row 2. So now the formula changed to $2. See, the dollar sign on the B column remains the same, so this is going to always call B column. This one here locks the row on 2, so it's always going to refer to row 2, right? And if we add the dollar sign to both the rows and the column, now it's going to always reference that column B, row 3, okay? So we added here a dollar sign on B, dollar sign on 3, and now we're logged into that particular cell, okay? So that's interesting because if you copy a cell and you need to do a reference to a particular cell, you need to use dollar signs on both the column and the row. When you copy that formula, it will remain the same structure. So that's one of the interesting things, that when you copy a formula, you will lose the direction unless you understand how Excel is looking at the columns and the rows. The other requirement, and this is how we're going to end up, I'm showing you the end product. This is the summary that we'll do for our cost estimate. Okay? So we will have estimate in different areas. Okay? And those totals are going to come up over here. So this will be the total cost of your estimate for general conditions. This will be the total cost of your estimate for earthwork. This will be the total cost of your estimate for concrete, and so on and so forth. Okay? This project has an area of 20,800 square feet. So then we have the cost per square feet, which is basically dividing the cost of that section by the area. So you get an idea of how much you're spending per square foot on each one of these items. Okay? And also we'll have a percentage. So from the total cost, which is the sum of all those elements, you know, what percentage is each one of this? Okay? Yeah. So that's the basic summary that we're going to have. We're going to have the totals for each one of these sections, a percentage that each one of those sections represent to the total cost, and then the cost per square foot. Now, each one of these elements, the total is represented here, but we're going to calculate it somewhere else, and then bring that total here. So we are going to create other tabs that go into the detail of how much money we need for one particular item, and then that item is going to be linked to the summary. Okay? So the total that appears in the summary comes from a different tab. We're going to learn how to use that in this course. You know, you don't have to come here knowing how to do it already. We will learn how to do it. Some useful formulas that we'll use is round, round up, and INT. These formulas, basically what they do is they round the number to the next integer or to the next decimal, and then the EINT, it takes the integer value of a calculation and gives you that. We'll see later on how that it's important and useful in the in Excel. So that's the basics of Excel.